Hello, and welcome. Welcome to 20 Minutes with Jesus. Take a moment to settle your heart. Find a quiet place, if you can. Allow this time to be a pause in your day. You don't need to rush. You don't need to have everything figured out. This is a moment to be still before God. As we spend these minutes together, let your mind slow down and your heart open. This is not about performance. It is about presence. Many people begin a new year hoping that peace will come from improved circumstances. They believe that if situations change, if answers arrive, or if life becomes more stable, then peace will naturally follow. But this kind of peace is fragile, because it depends entirely on what is happening around us. God offers something different. Biblical peace is not the result of perfect conditions. It is not the absence of problems, uncertainty, or challenges. It is the presence of God guarding the heart, even when circumstances remain unsettled. This peace does not wait for life to calm down before appearing. It enters the heart in the middle of instability. This is why so many people struggle to experience peace. They are waiting for external change before allowing internal rest. They postpone peace until everything feels resolved. But God invites us to receive peace first, not last. Peace is not something you arrive at after everything improves. It is something you learn to live from. When peace comes from circumstances, it rises and falls constantly. A good day brings calm. A bad day brings anxiety. A delay steals joy. An unexpected challenge unsettles the heart. But when peace comes from God, it remains steady even when life feels unpredictable. At the beginning of a year, this distinction becomes especially important. New seasons often awaken hope, but they also awaken fear. Plans are formed while outcomes remain uncertain. The mind begins to imagine possibilities, both good and bad. Without realizing it, the heart starts living in response to what might happen rather than resting in God's presence. God invites us to a deeper kind of peace. This peace does not ignore reality. It does not deny difficulty. It does not pretend that challenges do not exist. Instead, it anchors the heart so that reality does not overwhelm it. It allows you to face uncertainty without being consumed by it. Many people believe peace should feel like confidence, but God's peace often feels like steadiness. It may not remove emotion, but it brings order to it. It does not silence every question, but it quiets the fear behind them. Living from God's peace means learning where to place your focus. When the heart remains fixed on circumstances, anxiety grows. When it remains fixed on God, peace is strengthened. This shift does not happen automatically. It is learned, practiced, and reinforced over time. Peace becomes a posture that chooses trust over reaction, a posture that chooses presence over prediction, a posture that chooses rest even when clarity is incomplete. As we begin this episode, allow yourself to notice where you have been looking for peace. Have you been waiting for things to change before allowing yourself to rest? Have you been postponing peace until answers arrive? God gently invites you to receive His peace now, not later. This peace is not fragile, it is not temporary, it is not dependent on outcomes. It is a gift meant to guard your heart and mind as you walk into whatever this season holds. Many people misunderstand what it means for peace to guard the heart. They imagine peace as a feeling that comes and goes depending on circumstances. But the peace God offers is not fragile or passive. It is active. It stands watch over the inner world, protecting the heart from being overwhelmed by fear, worry, and constant anticipation. When peace guards the heart, it does not remove challenges. It changes how the heart responds to them. At the beginning of a new year, the heart is often exposed. Expectations rise. Plans form. Unknowns multiply. even good possibilities can bring pressure. The mind begins to scan the future, looking for certainty, control, or reassurance. Without realizing it, many people start living from anticipation instead of from peace. God invites us to reverse that order. Peace is not the result of understanding everything that lies ahead. It is the result of trusting the one who walks ahead of us. When the heart learns to rest in God's presence, peace becomes a stabilizing force rather than a temporary emotion. Guarded hearts are not easily shaken. This guarding happens gradually. Peace does not suddenly silence every anxious thought. Instead, it gently interrupts the cycle of worry. It creates space between a situation and the emotional reaction to it. In that space, discernment grows and fear loses its urgency. Many hearts feel anxious not because danger is present, but because attention is scattered. When attention is constantly drawn to what might happen, peace has little room to operate. God's peace begins to guard the heart when focus shifts from possibilities to presence. Presence changes perspective. When the heart is anchored in God's presence, circumstances lose some of their power. Challenges are still real, but they are no longer central. The heart no longer feels responsible for managing every outcome. It learns to trust that God is attentive, involved, and faithful. Peace guards the heart by reminding it what truly matters. It reminds the heart that it does not need to solve everything today. It reminds the heart that waiting is not failure. It reminds the heart that God's care is constant, even when clarity is not. This guarding is especially important during seasons of transition. New beginnings often feel exciting and unsettling at the same time. Without peace, excitement can turn into anxiety and hope into pressure. But when peace is allowed to lead, transitions become opportunities for trust rather than sources of stress. God's peace teaches the heart how to stay present. Instead of living in imagined futures, the heart learns to remain grounded in today. Instead of reacting to every thought, it learns to respond thoughtfully. Instead of rushing decisions, it learns to wait for wisdom. This does not mean the heart becomes passive or disengaged. It becomes steady. A guarded heart is still open. It still feels. It still hopes. But it does not panic. Peace becomes the lens through which decisions are made. When peace is absent, something feels misaligned. When peace is present, even difficult steps feel clearer. This is why God's peace is described as guarding both the heart and the mind. It protects emotions and thoughts at the same time. Many people search for peace by trying to eliminate uncertainty, but uncertainty is part of being human. God's peace does not remove uncertainty. It removes the fear attached to it. This kind of peace grows through practice. Each time the heart chooses to pause instead of reacting, peace strengthens. Each time worry arises and is surrendered, peace deepens. Each time trust is chosen over control, peace becomes more familiar. Over time, the heart learns to recognize peace as a guide. Decisions begin to align with calm rather than urgency. Rest becomes possible even when circumstances are unresolved. Confidence grows quietly, not because outcomes are guaranteed, but because God is trusted. As this episode continues, consider where your heart has been unguarded. What thoughts have been given too much access? What worries have been allowed to linger without challenge? Awareness is not meant to bring guilt. It is meant to create space for peace to step in. God's peace is not distant or selective. It is available now. It does not require perfect faith or complete understanding. It only requires willingness to let go of control and to remain present with God. When peace is allowed to guard the heart, the soul becomes steadier. Anxiety loses its grip. The future feels less threatening, and trust begins to grow naturally. rooted in the quiet confidence that God is near and actively involved. This is how peace becomes a way of living, not just a momentary feeling. Living from God's peace is not something that happens automatically. It is learned over time as the heart becomes familiar with where true stability comes from. Many people believe peace should arrive when life becomes easier, when answers appear, or when circumstances finally settle. But God offers a peace that does not wait for external calm. It enters the heart in the middle of uncertainty and teaches the soul how to remain steady. This peace changes the way a person experiences life. When peace is absent, the heart reacts quickly. Thoughts race ahead. Emotions intensify. Decisions are made under pressure. The mind becomes busy trying to anticipate problems, prevent pain, and control outcomes. Even small challenges feel heavy because the heart feels responsible for holding everything together. But when peace becomes the foundation, reactions slow down. Peace creates space between what happens and how the heart responds. In that space, wisdom grows. Discernment becomes clearer. Fear loses its urgency. The heart no longer feels compelled to respond to everything immediately. It learns how to pause, reflect, and trust. This is not emotional detachment. It is spiritual grounding. Living from peace means that circumstances no longer dictate the inner world. External situations may change, but the heart remains anchored. This anchoring does not come from confidence in oneself. It comes from confidence in God's presence and faithfulness. Many people struggle to live from peace because they are constantly reacting to life instead of resting in God. They respond to pressure with anxiety. They respond to uncertainty with overthinking. They respond to delay with frustration. Over time, this constant reaction becomes exhausting. God invites us to a different way of living. Peace teaches the heart how to trust God with what it cannot control. It reminds the soul that it does not need to manage every detail of the future. It releases the burden of responsibility that was never meant to be carried alone. Living from peace does not mean ignoring problems. It means facing them without panic. It means acknowledging difficulty without allowing it to define reality. It means staying present with God even when the path ahead is unclear. This kind of peace requires practice. The heart is not trained overnight to respond calmly. Years of reacting do not disappear instantly. But each time peace is chosen over anxiety, something within the soul is strengthened. Each time the heart pauses instead of rushing, trust deepens. Each time prayer replaces overthinking, peace becomes more familiar. God's peace reshapes the inner rhythm of life. Instead of living in constant anticipation of what might happen, the heart learns to remain grounded in what is happening now. Instead of replaying the past or fearing the future, attention returns to God's presence in the present moment. This shift changes everything. Peace becomes a place the soul can return to. When challenges arise, the heart no longer collapses inward. When plans change, the mind does not spiral. When answers are delayed, trust does not disappear. Peace holds the heart steady while life continues to move. This does not mean life becomes easy. It means the heart becomes resilient. Resilience formed by peace is gentle, not rigid. It allows emotions to be felt without being overwhelming. It allows disappointment without despair. It allows hope without pressure. The heart becomes flexible instead of fragile. Many people confuse peace with emotional numbness, but God's peace does not remove feeling. It brings order to it. Emotions are no longer in control. They become information, not direction. Living from peace also changes how decisions are made. When peace leads, decisions are not rushed. They are weighed with prayer and discernment. urgency loses its power. The heart learns to recognize when something is not aligned because peace withdraws. And when something is aligned, peace remains even if the decision is difficult. This is how peace becomes a guide. God's peace is not passive. It actively guards the heart and mind. It protects from unnecessary fear. It filters thoughts. It steadies emotions. Over time, the heart learns to trust this peace as a signal of alignment with God. At the beginning of a year, this way of living is especially important. New seasons often bring pressure to move quickly, to make decisions, to set direction. Without peace, this pressure creates anxiety. With peace, the same season becomes an opportunity to trust God more deeply. Living from peace allows the heart to move forward without carrying constant tension. You may not know what the year holds. You may not have clarity about every step. You may still have unanswered questions. Peace does not require certainty. It requires trust. Trust that God is present. Trust that God is attentive. Trust that God is working even when progress feels slow. When the heart learns to live from peace, life becomes less reactive and more intentional. The soul no longer feels pulled in every direction. Focus returns. Rest becomes possible. Confidence grows quietly, not because outcomes are guaranteed, but because God is trusted. This peace does not come from circumstances improving. It comes from relationship deepening. God invites you to live from this peace, not occasionally, but daily. Not only when things feel calm, but especially when they do not. This peace is meant to shape how you walk, how you decide, how you wait, and how you hope. Over time, living from peace becomes natural. The heart learns where to return when life feels overwhelming. The mind learns where to rest when thoughts become loud. The soul learns that it is not alone in carrying the weight of life. This is the peace God offers, not fragile, not temporary, not dependent on outcomes. A peace that guards, guides, and grounds the heart as you walk through every season. God, we come before you with grateful hearts, recognizing that your peace is a gift we often overlook. We confess that many times we have allowed worry, pressure, and uncertainty to guide our thoughts instead of your presence. Today, we choose to pause and receive what you are freely offering. We thank you because your peace does not depend on circumstances. It does not wait for answers or perfect conditions. It is available even now, in the middle of questions and unfinished situations. Teach our hearts how to receive this peace instead of resisting it. Help us release the need to control outcomes. Help us surrender what we cannot manage. Help us trust you with what remains uncertain. God, anchor our hearts in your presence. When anxiety tries to rise, remind us that you are near. When fear tries to speak louder, draw our attention back to you. Let your peace guard our thoughts, our emotions, and our decisions. We place this season, this year, and every unknown step ahead into your hands. We trust that you are faithful, attentive, and actively involved in our lives. Thank you for walking with us gently and for offering us peace that sustains us every day. Amen. As we come to the end of this episode, allow your heart to remain in this posture of calm. Peace is not something you experience once and then leave behind. It is something you learn to return to again and again as you walk with God. You may still face uncertainty. Some questions may remain unanswered, but peace reminds you that you are not required to carry everything at once. God is present in each step, guiding you patiently and faithfully. Living from peace does not mean life will always feel easy. It means your heart does not have to be shaken by every change. It means you can move forward without rushing, decide without panic, and wait without fear. As you continue your journey, remember to pause when needed. Return to God's presence when thoughts feel heavy. Let peace guide your responses instead of urgency. If this time has encouraged your heart, continue creating space to walk with God daily. Allow His peace to shape how you live, how you decide, and how you trust. And as you move forward, may your heart remain guarded, steady, and deeply rooted in the peace that only God can give.